I think he got it right. One, we have to properly address what the criteria is in the head coaching search, and typically it goes a promotion from coordinator level. You try to reach into the college ranks and grab someone to become a professional coach, which is two different sports in terms of coaching. Or you look for someone who has a proven track record. And this guy, Mike McCarthy, has a Super Bowl championship. And there are only 7 other active head coaches that have a Super Bowl championship. So he checks that box. And then also I think that Jerry Jones intimately just looked at Mike McCarthy, saw Mike McCarthy and the Green Bay Packers twice beat his Cowboys in the playoffs. And you look at that situation, even Mike McCarthy and his ultimate success as a Super Bowl champion won that in Jerry's world. So maybe there's some intimacy of, oh, I got to watch this guy up close and what he was doing versus what we were doing in contrast. All that said, I respect this hire because he's a proven coach.
I like it. I think he did hit his mark on this one. McCarthy, they needed a respected guy, a proven guy with this type of talented roster. Also, he comes from the Marty Schottenheimer coaching tree. He's going to bring toughness. The one thing that I looked at this Dallas team was they were lacking in personality and identity. You need a guy who can have enough of pull, not so big of a personality where it makes Jerry uncomfortable, but the calm, strong demeanor to be able to, really develop a personality for an identity for this team. So I think it was a great pick. Obviously, he can develop quarterback. He's had Favre, he's had Gannon, and obviously Aaron Rodgers. So I think he can really do some good things with this offense, and possibly with his defensive coordinator decision. We'll see if that it's a total identity change.
Gannon, huh?
Gannon.
I like Gannon.
Don't forget Elvis Gerback.
Yeah, he had Gerback too. He did have Gerback.
Gannon.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant here. I really am. Just a little bit here. I like the pick, but still, the way he went out with Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Fame quarterback, coming and saying this guy's not innovative. He's go get me one of them young offensive coordinators. That's why he got ran out of Green Bay. It seems like the safe pick. A logical pick, but at the same time, if I was Jerry, I probably would have waited a little bit more to go out there and then maybe hire Mike, interview some of these young guys, or unless McCarthy said, hey, I got this plan, Jerry. Here's my assistant coaches. Here's the guy I want to bring in. I'm going to bring in a young guy. I can evolve. Don't listen to what Aaron said. He don't know. He just, whatever. Whatever, explain what the relationship was there to make me feel comfortable if I'm Jerry. But I think this is also Jerry's way of saying, maybe he's giving up the reins. Maybe he's listening to the naysayers saying, you need to get out of the way and let a proven coach come in here and coach this team. So I know you like definitive answers sometimes, but I don't know here. I'm kind of split down the middle.
You've teed me up. You've put me along the path. I don't like the hire. It's a bad hire. And, I have been on a roller coaster ride with Mike McCarthy since the early 1990s. He came to Kansas City under, I think, Paul Hackett was the offensive coordinator, and he was allegedly Joe Montana's quarterback coach. And I was a critic in the 90s. Mike gets to Green Bay, becomes a head coach, shocks the hell out of me, wins a Super Bowl, and I had to give him credit. Hey, man, this guy, clearly my narrative on him early was wrong. But then now, in 2019, when I look back at what Mike McCarthy accomplished in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, arguably the most talented quarterback in the NFL history, Brett Favre, one of the most talented guys in NFL history. The guy's got 1 Super Bowl. And
one more than Garrett.
Yeah, I got it. And Jason Garrett would be sitting there saying, I've had Dak Prescott and Tony Romo. This guy's had Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. That's not a fair. I'm not. Jerry Jones, to me, is supposed to, and the Dallas Cowboys, they're supposed to be Barry Bonds. They're supposed to swing for the fences. I don't like it when Barry Bonds draws a walk. And so, yeah, they got on base with Mike McCarthy. So what? This is a franchise that should be swinging for the fences all the time and trying to be an innovator and trying to do something that others are afraid to do. This is one of the safest choices I think you could make. It makes me want to yawn. And when I think about Dak Prescott, if Mike McCarthy couldn't get the best out of Aaron Rodgers, He gonna get the best out of Dak.
He's
now.
considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And let me just.
And Aaron Rodgers just ran his ass.
Oh, okay, we going there. All right,
Yeah.
well, prepare for
At
your
the end.
Yeah, prepare for your death by 1,000 paper cuts. I will use your words against you and kill you with your words. You told me last couple weeks that the best coach in the NFL for the last 2 years has been who?
Sean Payton.
And how many rings does he have?
He's got one Super Bowl.
Okay, no. One Super Bowl ring, right? Let's keep it clear.
Yeah.
And he has a Hall of Fame quarterback as well, right?
Drew Brees ain't Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre, but go ahead. I hear
Okay.
your point.
Oh, he's not.
What?
Ain't even close.
He's somewhere between those. If he better than Brett Favre, I'll say that.
What?
But I'm gonna let that go. Here we go. You ready for this, Jason? So, if you're talking about one guy who did the best coaching job, but he only has one ring, why would you now talk harshly about someone else who's in that same position with an arguably same quarterback?
Well, one, because I've been tracking Mike McCarthy since the 1990s, early 1990s. Again, I have more knowledge, feel more confident with this opinion than a lot of other.
Well, Jeff Fisher used to be great too in the 90s. In the early 2000s.
No. But I'm just saying,
Things change.
I've been following Mike McCarthy's career his entire time. I have more information. That's why I feel more confident with this opinion. Sean Payton's someone I've been following from afar, and I stand by all those things about Sean Payton. Sean Payton's been suspended for a year. Sean Payton's had a chance to go to the Super Bowl taken away from him for a year. I just don't think it's an apples-to-apples comparison. And Sean Payton, I'm just sorry, Drew Brees is a hell of a player, and he's going to the Hall of Fame. But he's not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a two-time MVP? How many times was Brett Favre MVP? This guy played with generational, once-in-a-lifetime, multiple winning, best players in the NFL, guys, and he got one Super Bowl out of it.
All right, we don't have to get bogged down by that because I said 1,000 paper cuts. That was only one. Here's another thing. Ask Aaron Rodgers in actual production, did he get better without Mike McCarthy or not? Because we get clouded in the conversation because we see 13-3 as a record. Look at Aaron Rodgers' numbers this year. Was his quarterback rating better this year with or without his coach? Oh, it wasn't. Did he throw more interceptions this year? I know they're all few, 4-2. He didn't even look the same without Mike McCarthy, even though he ran Mike McCarthy out of town.
They're not hiring Mike McCarthy to get better stats out of Dak Prescott. They're hiring Mike McCarthy for the Cowboys to get more wins.
And a championship like he has.
Right, but again, to get more wins. The Packers have far more wins this year. It doesn't matter what the stats look like from the quarterback. You're hiring these coaches to get wins. This is a very safe, uninspiring hire. I think the real intent behind it initially was, hey, if we can get Mike McCarthy and maybe package him with Marvin Lewis as the defensive coordinator, that would be something. We got two very experienced guys, one running the deep, one running the offense. Marvin Lewis probably wasn't interested. Now they go with this safe choice of Mike McCarthy. I just don't, does nothing for me.
I like it.
You know, here's why I like it. And I can understand it being boring, and I can understand it, not
Let me add one more thing. I'm sorry. Let me add one more thing.
Sure.
He's not a personality that's going to remotely challenge Jerry Jones. Jerry's not backing off in any way with this
And
hire.
that's why I like
this
it.
hire, to me, says Jerry's still going to be the face and voice of this franchise.
That's why I like
Right.
it. That's why I like it, because you're not going to get away from Jerry being who Jerry is. I think we've established that. This is not an overly demonstrative individual in Mike McCarthy, but he is adequate at what he does. Now, saying that he wasn't
They got
innovative,
a commercial out about this right now about adequate or just okay.
Just okay.
All right.
That's basically what we got here.
Really?
But in that commercial, nobody got a Super Bowl championship. Don't you do that.
It's a nice grab. It's a nice little deal. But here with Mike McCarthy in this situation, he can build the identity of a very talented roster. You don't have to get too creative with what you have. You have the product in place right now. You need someone who can come in and lead it the right way. Is he a strong enough personality to be able to lead it? I do believe he is. Is he innovative enough to be able to put the right pieces in place to go around or go along with the offensive, defensive, and special team side? That has yet to be seen. It remains to be seen now, today. But if you're putting your bet down on a Mike McCarthy to have success with this type of roster, I would argue that he's not had a roster as good as the one that he's walking into with this Dallas situation. He doesn't have to be too over the top with what he's doing. Just do what he does in the past, and I think he'll be all right.
So is Jerry going to get out of the way, though?
No,
and right now, Jerry.
No.
I think Jerry wants to get out of the way right now. Today, I believe he does. But once things get going again, it's like a New Year's resolution. It's like, hey, we lost, we got our butt kicked. I'm going to hire this guy who's had this great experience, and I'm going to get out of the way. I've learned my lesson. I'm getting old. I want to win this Super Bowl. I don't care anymore. But I think once the season starts, once you get back to that old way, the habits are hard to change. It's hard to change.
But Jerry,
I don't know if Jerry's going to change.
Tony, Jerry doesn't want to get out the way. Therefore, he hires someone.
You don't think he wants to at this point because
he
of the
hires someone,
success of their team this year?
No Mike McCarthy's personality. He's not contentious, but he ain't a punk. So this is the beauty of Mike McCarthy, because ask Aaron Rodgers, is he a punk? No, we're going to go at it. But ask upstairs, is he contentious? No, he's going to go with the company line. That's the beauty of this hire. We talk about you hire a coach to win. In his 13 seasons, 8 consecutive playoff appearances, 4 conference championship appearances, 6 division titles. We talk about him going to the Cowboys. This is his second round of the opportunity. What did Belichick do in this second opportunity? Oh, the Patriots. What did Pete Carroll do in this second opportunity? Oh, the Seahawks. Even Andy Reid, what is he doing in Kansas City? And we're not going to give Mike McCarthy, one of 8 coaches with a Super Bowl championship, a second opportunity around that block?
Listen, I think Andy Reid's a good analogy, and Mike has a Super Bowl appearance, but I've never heard anybody. For years, Andy Reid is an offensive genius. Everybody agrees with that. That was his reputation. It's been proven wherever he goes. That's never been Mike's reputation. Aaron Rodgers is a genius, and Aaron Rodgers had problems with him. And the last thing we heard, and again, I don't want to take a major dump on, this is an uninspiring hire. I don't want to take a major dump on Mike McCarthy. But the last thing we heard was about him getting massages during team meetings. Do y'all remember that?
Oh, yeah.
This is a dude that was mailing it in, and now, in some people's mind, Aaron Rodgers just ran out of the franchise, and he's now going over to Jerry Jones, who still wants control. Because, Tony, I just want to be clear. We're talking about Mike McCarthy, not Urban Meyer. If they had hired Urban Meyer, that would have been a sign to me, oh, Jerry's going to stand down.
Right.
Hiring Mike McCarthy means Jerry's learned nothing. He's got another guy in here that he can control, that will be beholden to him, and will, if necessary, during game week of preparation, will go upstairs and get massages while Jerry and whoever he's controlling will go down there and coach the team. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.